Hey guys, my name is Jonas, I am an architect, and today I want to show you how to model a simple house in Revit 2018. It's going to be a basic tutorial for you. The house we are going to design is a house I designed personally for one of my clients. I know it pretty well and I hope you can learn a lot from it. And let's get started. So we start by opening our Revit and clicking on New, and we're going to select a template, and we select architectural template and hit OK. And we wait until it loads. So that's the default screen you will get when you first open your Revit. And by default we are in a level 1 floor plan view, okay? And that's good for starting our modeling, because I always like to start modeling with the walls, and I suggest we do the same. So we go to our wall tool, and I'm gonna click on this drop down menu to select a wall. I'm gonna select any wall, any generic wall, hit that edit type button since I want it to be wider, hit duplicate, and we're gonna create our own wall type. I'm gonna call it outside wall 500. So we're gonna make it 500 mil. What I did is I clicked on edit, and for the thickness we enter 500, and I'm gonna leave the material empty for now. And we have our basic wall, and we can start drawing. And we can draw, you see we are in the line tool, we can go to rectangular tool and draw a rectangular just like this. Click once and click twice. Yeah. And now I want to take care of the dimensions. So one way I like to position things in Revit is by adding dimensions and then changing those dimensions. So we click on this icon here on align dimension, or we go to annotate tab and we select a dimension. Most of the times you're going to be using aligned dimension, so we click on this dimension, and now you see the Revit snaps the center line of our wall, okay, because the wall center line is selected here. What you can do is either change this parameter here to core, or you could hit tab button, scroll down through the selection. So we hit tab, you get all the possible selections. So I hit tab, I select this line. Once again, hit tab, select this line, click outside, and I lock my dimensions. Okay, I'm gonna put another dimension to those walls as well. Click outside to lock. And now I wanna move this wall, towards the left. So I'm gonna change this dimension. Once I click on element, this dimension becomes smaller and can be edited. So I'm gonna add a value of 40 meters 700 mil. Okay, I'm gonna do the same with this wall. It's gonna be a 6 meters 95 centimeters. Oops, 6 meters 95 centimeters. We draw in millimeters, and have to. If you draw in other units, be free to use other units. Feel free. It doesn't really matter what kind of units are you using. It all works fine. So we have our basic living part of the house, and we are planning to have a garage on the left. So I'm gonna create a different kind of wall, and we go to our architecture, we go to our wall, we go to generic 25 mil wall, and I'm gonna duplicate and make an outside wall 24 centimeters of width. Okay, I'm gonna edit type and enter 24 centimeters of thickness here. Click OK, and we can start drawing. Once again, I'm gonna draw 4 walls without worrying too much about dimensions. You can also drag your walls with the mouse, is this. And so the first thing what I want to do is use a modify and align tool. Okay, so I want to align this wall to this wall, and then I want to add some dimensions. You can hit letter D twice to enter your dimensions. And I want to add 2 meters here for the width. I'm gonna enter a value of 5 meters 76, let's say. And for the depth, once again I add a dimension, and let's make it a 6 meters of depth, just like so. Once you're done, you don't need the dimensions, we can just simply select and erase them, okay? Just like so. Select, hit delete button, okay? Very simple. I want to extrude this line towards the end of our main building, and for doing that, once we select a wall, you have this dot with circle here, this drag point. So we click and drag, and it snaps for us. It snaps to a midpoint, and we go to modify, we click on align, we select outside, and we're here. I want to draw a small wall here as well, so I'm gonna click this one, right click and create similar, just like so, okay? So create similar, and I'm gonna drag it like this, okay? And it's 650, let's make it 600, or let's make it 700, just like so, okay? So we have our basic outline walls, and let's go to 3D view and look what happened. So we can go to 3D view by clicking on this icon here with a small house icon, and you can notice right away that something's wrong. All the walls are very tall, and we're not designing a skyscraper, at least today we're not. So we want our walls to be lower, and every wall has a restrictions. Once you select, you can see all the constraints here, and you can see the level constraints, okay? And let's go to our elevation view on the project browser here on the left corner, and you can see that we have a level 2 created for us, but the wall goes way above that level, okay? So the 4 meters of height for level 2 is good for us for this project. So we go to 3D view again, and I'm going to select all of the walls, and for our top constraint I'm going to select level 2, okay? And now all the walls are 4 meters of height, okay? And I'm gonna make the main building, living part of the building walls, base offset of -100, because we are designing a warm house, ecologically friendly house. So we want our wall to start lower than our floor starts, okay? So that's our basic setup. Now let's go inside level 1 and add some walls to the interior. So I'm gonna create another structure wall inside like this. So I'm gonna create one wall here, another wall here, and let's add in some dimensions to it, and let's make it like this. I'm gonna hit align tool for those walls to align, okay, just like so. And then we're gonna go to our wall tool, and we're gonna select another wall like so. Edit type, once again duplicate, it's gonna be inside 120, and we're gonna click edit and enter a thickness of 120 mil. And now I'm gonna draw some rooms, so very basic rooms. I'm gonna select this, extend this here, create similar, I'm gonna extend this here, create a line here. So let's check the dimensions. So I can add dimensions, and I keep adding them just like so, and click outside. And so I want this to be 260, I want this to be 260 as well, let's say, okay, something like this. And then you can use a trim command to finish it off, trim command to join the walls together, just like so. So I'm gonna move this guy a little bit towards here. It's too large for now. Okay. So let's do it like this for now. And so it's gonna be our 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, and a storage room right here. Okay. And for the entrance, let's draw some more walls. Create similar, and let's do a wall right here. Let's do a technical room. Let's make an entrance room. Let's add a dimension right here of 2 meters, let's say, just like so. Let's make this entrance 180, just like so. And this is going to be our toilet. So I'm going to use a trim command, TR, on the keyboard for a shortcut for that. And I'm going to draw a line for my wardrobe, something like this. I'm going to add dimension of, we draw, select the right dimension, 800 mil, let's say, just like so. Okay, so we have a basic plan. I might modify it a little bit on the way, and for now we want to start adding doors. Okay, for doors we go to architecture, we click on doors, and by default we have one family preloaded for us, and so I'm going to use this family for our inside interior doors. I'm going to click on edit type, and I'm going to click on duplicate to make the doors I need. So it's going to be 900 mil of width by 2 meters and 10 of height. Okay, so that was the name, and then we enter the real height, so it's 210 by 900. You click OK, and now once you hover on the wall, you can see the door icon appears and it shows you where can you insert your door. So I'm going to insert one door to our bathroom. I'm going to insert one door to our bedroom, to our other bedroom, and to our storage room. Okay, just like so. And if you want to change the direction of the doors, you can select the doors and use those two arrows, just like so, or you can hit a space bar on a keyboard. It does the same thing. Okay, so now let's create the same door here for the entrance. I want it to look here, to point here, and the same door here, just like so. You see the element overlaps each other, so I'm going to move my door, or what I can do is add a dimension, and I select the door, or I enter, let's say, a dimension like this. Okay, it's very simple. I need a smaller door for my toilet, so I'm going to create similar. I'm going to edit type, duplicate, and instead of 900 I enter 700 by 210. Once again, it's going to be 700 width here. Hover on, and in this case I want this to be as close to my wall as possible, so I'm going to use align tool. Okay, just like so. So we have a basic plan going, and now we need an entrance door. And for entrance door, Revit only offers by default the interior door. Okay, so we're going to load a family. We can load a family by clicking on load family button, and there's a default family here. You can find all kind of categories like doors, for example. You hit on doors, you click once to view a preview of the door, and if you like one of the doors, take one of those doors. What I have is a small library set for this tutorial, and we are going to use a door this door, like exterior single flush door. Okay, I'm going to hit open, and then it prepares for a model, and then we insert this door right like this. Okay, so once again I'm going to hit on edit type and make the dimensions that I want, and I'm going to duplicate. It's going to be 1 meter of width by 220 of height. Okay, once again with 1 meter 220. Okay, another thing, you see that it inserted in the very far side of the inside wall. Okay, and what we want it to be to insert it towards the outside. So what we can do is select the door, hit on edit type once again, and look for the parameter that defines this outside, and it has a parameter of frame offset external. And since our wall is 500 mil depth, we're gonna put 400 mil offset. Okay, just like so. Now it's in the outside. That's what we want. Okay, you might wonder why the wall is only depicted with one line. Well, that's because of the detail level. Here in the corner we can select our coarse, medium, or fine detail level. If we select fine, we can see the door has more detail. Okay, just like so. If this family has the structure member here, we can edit type once again, and we can click this cavity closers, ticker off, and we have this clean door. Okay, just like so. So now we go to 3D plan, and you see what happens. Just like so, we have our walls. So now it's time to put a garage door, since it's also a door. So we click on a door, we load a family once again, and we look for a garage door. You can find this door in the default library as well. So once again I insert it on the wall, just like so. Click on it and duplicate. It's going to be 4 meters and 50 of width and 2 meters and 20 of height for 2 cars. So 220 and 450, just like so. Okay, and I'm going to put the same door as this to the for the garage. Okay, just like so. Now you see the problem, because we told the offset value for a 400 to be 400, and it's too much for us. Now we're going to click on this, and we're going to duplicate, and it also can be not as wide, so we're going to make it 900 mil by 220, and it's going to be 900. And for the offset value that we set to 400, we're going to set it to 100, so it's inside our wall like this. Okay, so very nice. So now let's draw a floor, okay, for our main building. So for doing that, we go to floor, and we select a generic floor form in the middle is good for us, and instead of using a line tool we're going to use this pick walls tool. So it allows us to pick the walls, and so we click on the wall that is highlighted and you see the outline has to be closed loop, and we set up we look at the constraints, level 1 and no offset, which is good for us, and we click this green ticker mark to finish off our command, and it asks whether we want to join the geometry with our walls. We can click yes on that for now. So we have, let's look at the 3D view. Once again we go to 3D view and we have our floor. What we're missing is our base wall for, our structure base wall for the walls. So for that we need to create an extra level. Okay, so we go to any elevation in our project browser menu, and we see we have 2 elevations. What I will do, I select the elevation, hit right click and create similar, and this is one way of drawing elevation. The other way of drawing elevation is go into architecture and level. So we can go to level, and I'm gonna make it 800 millimeters lower than our level 1. Okay, so like so. And you notice once we create a new elevation, our floor plan, in our floor plan section, we can see we have a new floor plan which is level 3, and I'm gonna rename it for base for now. Okay, and it asks whether I want to rename it in all corresponding views. We click on yes because we do want this option. Okay, and now let's go to our newly created floor plan, which is called base. Okay, and what happens? It looks exactly the same as the first floor plan. And why is that? Well, because of the visibility graphics and options. So if we are not, if we haven't selected anything here in the properties tab, we can change the properties for our view, and we can scroll down and go to view range and click on edit, and here you see the height of the level, and the height of the level is 800 as we know, and want to cut in the middle, so we cut at 400 and we click OK. Okay, and now you see nothing, and we need some reference to draw here, right? So in the same properties we can go to underlay, and here we click on level 1, so we can see the contour of our level 1. Okay, and now I want to draw this base wall. Okay, so I go to wall again. I'm gonna select any generic wall, let's say 250. I'm gonna edit type, I'm gonna duplicate, I'm gonna call it a base wall, and I'm gonna make it a width of 450. Okay, 450, just like so. And now what I'm going to do, I'm gonna select a rectangular draw tool, and I am gonna draw a rectangular outside of this. Okay, why is that? Because I will use a line tool to attach to the walls and to constrain those walls. Okay, so now I want to select all the walls together to see the parameters of height, and I can do that by hovering on one wall, clicking tab, and then all the walls that are connected together at the same time will select. So I click once, I select all the walls together, and I see my base constraint is base, which is good, and the top constraint is level 1, which is also good. But since we made the level 1 walls base offset to -100, I'm going to enter the -100 trade top offset here. Okay, and now I'm going to use an align tool, and I'm going to align the inside of the wall, this one, and I'm going to click on this spine here. Okay, to lock those things together. Lock those two walls together. I'm going to lock this guy to this guy. I want to lock everything together, just like so. And then you go to 3D view, and we see we've created this base. And why did I do that? Because, for example, you want to model your house and you want to extrude this wall. You see what happens? The floor and this base wall is in the exact position where we want it to be. Okay, so that's very useful. And now let's draw a base for this part. So we go to level 1, and for that it's going to be, I'm just going to draw a floor for now. So I'm going to go for a floor, generic floor. I'm going to edit type, I'm going to duplicate, so it's going to be an outside floor. Okay, and I'm going to make it 500 mil. Okay, and it's going to be -50 off of first level, because we don't want to enter our outside floor to be in exact same elevation as our first floor. Okay, that's the basic rule. And I'm gonna select the walls, and now I'm gonna click to pick lines, so I can pick lines also out of the walls. More simple. So I'm gonna click various lines, And now I'm going to use a trim tool here to close this loop like this. So I'm going to trim those guys together, I'm going to trim those guys together, I'm going to trim this, I'm going to trim this, I'm going to trim this with that. And so we have this closed loop, okay? And so we hit OK. We go to a 3D view, and then you notice that we have this gap going. So once again, I hover on the wall, I click tab, and all the walls get selected at once, and then I'm gonna enter a base offset of minus 50, just like so, okay? And for this guy, we can use an align tool to align it to the base, like so, okay? Very simple. So now it's time for us to add some windows, okay? Let's add some windows, and once again we go to architecture and we select a window. Easy. And once again it has one family preloaded, one family of windows. I don't like that family, so I'm going to load my own family and click on load family, and I'm going to select the window that I've prepared for this video, and it's going to be this window here. I'm going to load it and place it somewhere in our model, just like so, okay? So we go to 3D view and we look at our window. So once again we're gonna have to modify it to enter the right dimensions. So we click on edit type, we click on duplicate, and it's gonna be 2 meters and 40 width and 1 meter and 50 of height, okay? I'm gonna repeat that here. So those are the parameters, width and the height, okay? So enter this here. And what's also important is the sill height. You see, once you select the window on the left side under properties, you can see the sill height, and I want this to be 90 right here, okay? And we go to level 1, and you can see those arrows. I'm going to click on this arrow to flip my window, and also I'm going to add some dimensions. So I'm going to create the dimension here, click on window, and I'm going to enter, let's say, a dimension of 1 meter, okay? So the guy also has this structure, which I don't want for now, so I'm going to edit type, and I'm going to, for the graphics, going to take off the sticker mark, okay? Just like so. So I want to create other windows, so once again I go to window and I'm going to load another family, okay? So I go to my library, and we are about to select this window right here, okay? Like this. So I place the window, I'm gonna edit type, I'm gonna duplicate, and this one is gonna be 1 meter of width by 240, okay? Just like so. I'm gonna take off those stickers because I don't need any glazing bars for our minimalistic design, and width is gonna be 1 meter, the height is gonna be 240, just like so. Alright. And what you can do with dimensions is you can continue your existing dimensions. So you select that dimension, you click on this edit witness line icon, and then you just click where you want your dimensions to continue. And to finish it off, once again click on a free space somewhere, okay, on an empty space. So we can select the window and we can change this dimension right here to be, let's say, like this, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this window by simply selecting a copy out of our modify menu. I'm going to edit my dimension once again, and it's 600 is fine for me. It's very good. Okay, so we go to 3D view and we see those windows supposed to start from the ground, so I'm select those two windows by holding Ctrl. Since they share the same parameters, so I can change them at once, and I'm going to change the sill height to 0, just like so. Okay, we go to our level 1 once again, and I'm going to copy this window right here. I'm going to make it smaller, so I'm going to duplicate. It's going to be 500 by 240, okay? I'm going to change the width to 500 here, okay? I'm going to keep extending my dimensions, okay? Once again, and I want to change that dimensions to like, oh, it's already like this, is good. So, and once again, I'm going to modify my dimension, and it's going to be, let's say, something like this. Maybe, or okay, maybe I will move those guys a little bit, just like so. Okay, oops, let's do it again. select multiple elements, we're holding Ctrl, and we're gonna drag it on the floor plan, okay? Just like so. So, and let's make it 170, just like so. Okay. So we're good for now. I'm gonna select a window and hit create similar once again. For sill height, I'm gonna enter 0 in the first place, so I don't need to change it later on. I'm gonna add a few more windows, like so. I'm gonna add smaller windows, once again, change sill height to 0. So our bath will have a window, our technical room will have a window like this. I want to create one big window here, so I'm gonna hit create similar, hit on edit type and duplicate. It's gonna be 260 by 240. Oops, let's make it nice like this. Let's keep it organized. The width is gonna be 260 like so. Sill height should be 0. I'm gonna place it here. And I also want to place some doors, some glass doors to go outside, so I'm gonna go to doors. I'm gonna load a family, and I'm gonna select a door, okay? So once again, I'm gonna click on edit type, duplicate. It's gonna be 900 by 240. So it's 900 by 240 to match the window height, okay? And the frame offset is the same story. I'm gonna put it to 400, and the frame width, I'm gonna make it 80. So I'm gonna change the parameters the way I need them to change, okay? I'm gonna do the same thing here, just like so. So the sill height is 0, it's good. For those is everyone is 0, and this guy should be smaller. Let's make this garage window somewhat smaller, and let's make it 2 meters of height. So I'm going to duplicate, I'm going to make it 2 meters of height. Let's make it 2 meters of height, like so. And in order to place it in the middle, there is a quick trick for you to use. You go to your dimensions, you align dimensions, so you select one wall, you select the middle of the element, and select the other wall. You click on dimension, and then this EQ appears, and you can click on it once, and it will put your element in the center. If you click it twice, it will unconstrain, and you will be able to move it again. So that's all good for now. And if we go to 3D view, we can see we have our windows here set up. And now it's time for us to do our roof, okay? So for the basic roof, we go to level 2, and I'm gonna do a floor first, and then I'm gonna do a roof, because it's a semi-flat roof, or almost a flat roof. So I'm gonna hit a floor. I'm gonna go to generic, edit type. I'm gonna create a, I'm gonna call it ceiling for now. And let's make it a 300 of width, okay? And once again, I'm gonna select walls to add this ceiling. It's gonna be a structural ceiling. That's why I take this floor command, okay? So I don't know exactly the height, what to enter, so I'm going to leave it for now as it is. I'm going to click OK, and click. Now it asks me whether I want to join all the walls, to attach all the walls to the new ceiling. I'm going to hit yes, and hit OK. Okay. And now I want to set it in place as far as height goes. So I'm going to create a section. So I can create a section with this icon here near our 3D view icon, and we click on section and click once, click twice. Okay, you can move it, and to enter it, you either double click on this bubble right here, or alternatively in a project browser, once you create a section, the section appears here as well, so double click this one. And now I'm going to add a dimension, use a trick that we already know. Add a dimension, select the element, and I'm going to make the height of 290, just like so. So another thing that happens that is not good, so the Revit asked me whether I want to attach all the walls to our ceiling, and as it turns out, we don't want that. So I'm going to select with the control all the walls, and I'm going to select detach, and select the element I want to detach from, okay? And so we get our walls back, just like so. The next thing is I want to draw an actual roof with a slope, okay? So for that we go to roof command, and we click this drop down menu, and instead of using the basic roof by footprint command, I'm going to use roof by extrusion. So we are going to draw a profile, and for drawing a profile we're going to select a work plane we want to draw on. So Revit asks you automatically to select a work plane, and we will pick a plane, we hit OK, and we select, for instance, this plane. It asks for a reference level, we hit level 2 is OK, we hit OK. And in order to draw, what you want to draw, I suggest you to go to some kind of elevation. You can do it also in a 3D space, so you can click the side of the cube you want, so for example the right side, and we change the graphic view to wireframe, like so. And now we take a line and we are going to draw this roof like this. I'm going to make it 2 degrees slope, like so, okay? So we can rotate, we can go back to our hidden line, and I also have to select what kind of roof do I want, and I want a thin roof. So let's take this wood rafter just for now, okay? And I hit OK. So what happens, it extruded in the wrong direction, so I'm gonna click on this triangle right here. I'm gonna drag it all the way back and hit the align tool, select one wall, select the edge of the roof, and it will align. The next thing I wanted to do is I want this wall to attach to this new roof. So I'm going to select the wall, click on this attach top base, and then select element I want to attach to. In this case, this is a roof. I'm going to attach this roof. Okay, roof. Okay. And now I want to move the whole thing lower, so we have this outline. And so we go to our section in our project browser. I select the roof. I hit the move command. I'm going to move it by 400, let's say, something like this. Okay. So we have a basic roof for our first volume. Okay, and now let's create a roof for our next part. So I'm going to create the same roof, but this one will have a bigger slope. Okay, so I'm going to once again go to architecture, roof by extrusion. I'm going to pick a plane, hit OK and select the plane. I'm going to select this plane right now. Select OK. Once again I'm going to click the right side of the cube for this view, and I'm going to select a line once again. I'm going to start from the top and then move it where I need it afterwards, and I want a 7 degrees of slope. You can see it snaps automatically to degrees, so I'm going to click OK, just like so. If we want to, we can move this line lower right now, like 200 mil, something like this, and we'll click this green ticker marks to finish it off. Once again, it's too long for now, so I'm going to grab the end and I'm going to draw it, and to finish off this I'm going to use align tool once again, select the face and the other face, and we have it. So now what I want to do is select this wall, and this wall, and attach them to our new roof. Okay. And what's missing in front, we had this impression that it had this cube going, okay? And so we need to create this piece of wall here. And to do that, not necessarily do we have to draw in the plan views, we can also do it in 3D space. So I'm going to show you how. We're going to create a similar wall. I'm going to do type and make it this outside structure wall, and make it 200 mil of width, okay, just like so. And I'm going to draw it somewhere here, but without looking into the constraints too much, and I'm going to just take care of the constraints now, okay. So first thing, I'm going to use a line tool and align this guy with this end of the wall, okay. The next thing is we want to make the height match, okay. And the next thing is I can use this arrow once selected to put it in place and see how much the height I need. And here in the base offset I can use some kind of equal numbers, so we have, so our project would make sense, okay. And we're gonna use align tool once again, like this and like this, okay. So for this wall, what I wanted to do, I wanted to attach to this wall, so I am going to select align tool, and we'll do like this. And we'll try to, yeah, like this, so it all aligns. And if you want to join those members together, you can click on join command, select one and two, and then have a clear line. So you notice that our roof is sticking out, it doesn't look pretty, so we're going to double click to enter our roof and modify it. Or the other way to do it is by simply selecting and hitting edit profile button. Okay, and now we can do it in 3D space. I click on my line, I click on the end, I'm gonna drag it, and it snaps automatically like so. It's very easy to do. Okay, what we can do with our finish our roofs off, we can go to architecture, and under roof we can have some parameters, some elements we can add. So we can add fascia, and let's do it by selecting the edge of the roof. And also we can go to a gutter, and also we select a line to make a gutter on like this and like this. So it's very fast too, it gives a lot of detail to your project. I suggest you use it like this. Okay, so we have our basic model done, and now let's go inside of the plan, and let's make our plan a little bit more detailed. Let's add some components. So let's start with the kitchen. Okay, and let's move this door here. I will use some components, and you can do that by going to architecture component, and you have some preloaded components like trees, like a desk, and some very basic things, and you can load family. So you click on component, you hit load family, and you can import anything you want. And I look for a countertop of my kitchen, and I imported it, and I'm gonna click space to rotate. I need a mirror version, so I hit on the mirror by selection, like this. I'm gonna erase this one, and you notice that it's very hard to move this exactly to the corner because the lines are so thick. So one useful tip that I advise is here, there's an icon for thin lines. You can turn off line weight, and then you can select the move command, and it doesn't let you move where you want to, so because this constraint is on, so we turn out this constraint, and we snap to a corner. I'm gonna snap this here, I'm gonna snap this guy here, just like so. Okay, and we can turn on our line weights if we want to. We can leave it turned off, so it's free to decide. Sometimes it's easier to model with the line weights off, and we're showing the model to someone else, you can see the structure better when the line weights are on. Okay, so the next thing is we have this small toilet here. I'm gonna add some toilet attributes, let's call it that way. So I'm gonna put this closet, okay, like this, and you see it's acting very funny for now because work plane is a vertical face, and of course for this object we need a work plane we're on, and in the level 1 we're always in the level 1 work plane. So I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna go to component, load family once again, and I'm gonna select another family. I'm gonna select a small sink that I have prepared like this. Okay, once again use a space bar to rotate it very quick before you insert your element. And now let's take care of the other bath. Okay, so let's load some families. Let's load a bath like this. Okay, so let's load a bath. I'm gonna make the same closet like this, hit the work plane, so just like that. Let's add a sink, load family, let's look for a sink. I missed it somewhere. Yeah, here it is. That's our sink. And last thing I want to add is a washer. So I finished off project, so it's a washer. Okay, and a washer can take place here, just like so. Next thing I want to add is a bed in our bedroom. So we load family once again, and we select our bed like this. You can also change the parameters for the bed, but for now, for saving time, I'm gonna leave it as it is, like so. Another bedroom like here, right here. I'm gonna use a detail line to finish off this wardrobe. So under annotate, you can find a detail line. It is only visible in 2D views. It's not visible in 3D, but it's very useful. You can select what kind of line you want, and you can draw things. Like you can simply show your ideas where the wardrobe should be without having to find the exact wardrobe, modify the parameters and model it yourself, like this, for example. Okay, so very useful tool. Now we want a dining table, so let's go to architecture component, let's go to load family once again. We look for a table, yeah, so there's a table like this, and we wait, and we place it. Maybe it's too large, but this table comes with many versions, so I'm gonna select a smaller version of our table. Okay, I'm gonna hit CM for a component, load one more family for a chair, load a chair. I'm gonna add some chairs, so just like so. I'm gonna add some more chairs, just like so. We can move the objects with arrows as well on a keyboard, and we're gonna copy this chair here. Okay, so we have our dining setup, and we can add a sofa if we want to. So we go to component, and for this time I'm going to use a default library. So we go to furniture of default library, we go to seating, and we scroll down to look for a sofa. So let's say we have a sofa like this. So I have one sofa like this, and we have one sofa like this, let's say. Something like that, doesn't matter. Can be also, we can rotate an element by 90 degrees. Do like this, doesn't really matter for our purposes. And so here we have it. What we can do now is create our 3D view, okay? And to do that, we go under this default 3D view and drop down menu, and we click on camera, okay? And once we click camera, we have to select the starting point, and then we are going to drag our mouse like this and click twice to finish off. And you can extend the borders of visibility with those corners. The further you extend, the more distortion you will get out of the camera, but to some extent it's good to do. So what we're missing is the ground, and we did not model the entrance stairs. Okay, so we go to level 1 and let's make the stairs. So I'm gonna need to make my floor smaller. I'm gonna click on my floor, edit boundary, select the line. I'm gonna move my line by hitting MV on the keyboard, like 600 mil. And let's create stairs now, okay? So we go to architecture, we go to stairs. I'm gonna select a monolithic stair, and we need to take care of the constraints, because I only need 2 stairs from my ground to my base level, to my first level, first ground level. So I'm gonna put minus 500 for my base constraint, and for my top constraint I'm gonna also put level 1 and minus 50, okay? And I'm gonna click once to start drawing and click twice to finish drawing, okay? So we have our stair, and I'm gonna move it by move command on the corner. I'm gonna snap it to the corner. I'm gonna make it wider by extending it with this arrow right here. And so we can go to 3D view, and we can see already that stairs are made like that. And to finish top, we click this green ticker mark, okay? And by default, Revit always creates this, the railing for the stairs, and for that we don't need, so I simply select that and we erase it, okay? Just like so. Also, we need an entrance for our garage, so I go to level 1 once again, and I'm gonna create the same kind of floor. So create similar, and I'm gonna pick some walls. So I'm gonna pick this wall, this wall, this wall, and this wall. I'm gonna use trim command, TR on the keyboard for a shortcut. I'm gonna trim this with that, those guys together. Okay, it's minus 50, it's the same level. Hit OK, and then we go to 3D view, and what I want to do now is select our floor, and we go to modify sub-elements. And now you see those green lines appear, and I select this line here, and now I can enter a value. So if I click on that 0, I enter minus 450. Okay, and you see I created the slab. So we can actually drive in our garage. The last thing I wanted to do here for modeling is create a ground level. So we go to massing inside, we go to topo surface, and we need to specify the elevation of our point. So we're going to enter minus 500, and we just simply gonna place points to define our ground, just like so. And you can modify it later. And to finish it off, press this green arrow right here. So now we can go to 3D view, which we created, which is under in our project browser under 3D views, and now we have a ground level. And what can we do to improve the view for our presentation purposes? We can go to graphic display options, and what I suggest you always do is you turn on the smooth lines with anti-aliasing, and that will make it look so much better. Okay, next thing you can do is turn on shadows, and already it's looking pretty good. So the next thing that you could do is add some kind of materials to your walls, to the walls, okay? And I want to make some brick wall elements, okay? And to do that we have the simple command by split surface right here, split surface, we hit it and then we hover on a surface that we want to split and we click on it, and then we can draw a splitting line just like that, and we finished off as always with, by clicking the green ticker marker. So you can use the same command once again by pressing on the keyboard S and F. We want to split this surface as well, and so we have to have a closed loop, and we don't draw on those orange lines. You cannot overlap, okay, just like so. And I'm gonna make another separation like split surface here. So I'm gonna click the same thing. I'm gonna connect all of those windows together like so, and I'm gonna select my lines and I'm gonna make a copy starting from there, okay, just like so. And now I want to paint those areas, and if you hit a paint command you can see the default materials, and we can search for brick, for example. We select a brick and I'm gonna click on the surfaces that we created. So I also want to make this column like so, and this garage wall like so, and we want to make the side wall but not all of the wall, so I will split this surface as well. I'm gonna draw this like that. I'm gonna select a line of this lower surface like this, and I use a trim command to finish it off so I know where I'm modeling. I'm in P and T to paint once again, and here we have it. We go to 3D view once again and we have our house. Another small thing that you could do to show off to your client is use a section box. So in a default 3D view without any selections, you can turn on the section box. You can see this box and you select one and you can drag those markers to cut into your project, and you can show how the plan structure works just like so, okay? You can also turn the shadows if you want to, okay? And to turn it off you simply take that box empty once again, okay? And last thing maybe for today we can do is add some entourage. So we go to architecture, we go to component, we load a component, and we go to entourage, and we add, there you have a car, person. So what I'm going to do is add a female, okay? Open, and I'm gonna and also we can go to component and we have some preloaded trees we can use. So let's add a few trees just like so, and then to go to 3D view, and we have our basic house model. So congratulations, we have done our first house. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something new. I hope this will help you in the future on your own projects, and it's time for you to get started modeling. And thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit that thumbs up if you liked the video, and see you next time. Take care, ciao.